Ooh, boy. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a video game of all time that I have played. Is it good? Is it bad? Does it suck? Yeah. Square Enix has yet again delivered to us the next installment in the Final Fantasy VII saga of games. Yes, you heard me right. Saga. We are now 2 games in, and we just finished Disc 1 of a 3-disc game.
Okay, so 2 whole games so far. We're only this far. We just got done with this. We still have... Oh, never mind.
Now, I'll be jumping right into the review portion of the video, giving my thoughts overall, just pointing out things I liked and didn't like. And this video isn't meant to be taken seriously for the most part. However, some things will be genuine, but overall, take everything with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion. If you're a fan of this game, nothing wrong with that. All power to you. But, I don't know. I might get a little bit passionate here because the original Final Fantasy VII is one of my all-time favorite games. So, I'm going to defend it and, talk about that. So, either way, let's just get right into the review. So, let's do this. Starting off with Chapter 1 begins with beloved Super Smash Bros. Character Zachary Fair running from Shinra. Yeah, he lived. Remember the ending of the first one? But wait, Cloud and Aerith are in Midgar? What could this mean? Who cares? Because look, you're in Calm. I will admit it's nice that you start there rather than manually having to go there like in the original. But you might have done that in Intergrade. I don't know. I didn't play that because I fucking hate Yuffie, but we'll get into that later. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a step-by-step analysis. I'm just some random kid on YouTube who's overly fixated on Final Fantasy VII. I'll yap my opinion. You'll get on with your day. But now, let's continue. The Calm flashback is great. The pacing is good. It's true to the original. And playing as Sephiroth is awesome and amazing. The only complaint, though, is that Sephiroth should have been way stronger. I don't know if I just suck at video games, but I know that Sephiroth shouldn't come close to dying when fighting a boss battle. Anyways. So, after the Calm flashback, you have a little bit of a section in Calm, but then after that, you leave, and then the game opens up. Now, just with the opening, the game and graphics look great, the character models are good, Barrett's awesome, the materia system is refined as ever, and you're just ready to start a grand old adventure. Okay, now on to the negatives. So, before we get into the negatives, let's talk about one thing. Staying safe. Just as Cloud needs to stay safe from Sephiroth, everyone needs to stay safe while browsing the internet. I'm happy to announce that today's video is sponsored by no one. Go fuck yourself! Alright, just gonna rip the band-aid off here. I fucking hate Yuffie. I hate her. I want to strangle her. I want to throw her off a fucking cliff. The original game, optional, automatically better. 10 out of 10. Okay. She's not all that bad. She's fun in combat and provides diversity to the cast. That's it. Her entire personality is materia. Materia this, materia that, materia. In Cosmo Canyon, the evil Gee guy is telling about the black materia. That moment ruined with Yuffie materia maxing over it. It takes you out of it. Cloud, what do you have to say about this?
Please shut up.
Okay. Yuffie aside, here's the positive. Barrett Wallace. Oh man, this guy's awesome. Easily the best Avalanche member. Fun to use in combat. Has so much personality compared to the original. And he's so funny. Screw Yuffie. Barrett is the perfect comedic relief. Mwah. I love Barrett. Now, with this being said, I wish I could say the same thing about Dyne. Oh man, what a letdown. So, the build-up was great. Especially for what was such a shitty chapter, too. The Golden Saucer Massacre build-up was great. As for the actual confrontation and battle with Dyne, it was awesome. It was an energized battle. The cutscene going into it was great, too. But then after that, everything goes downhill. Why does Shinra show up? What purpose do they serve? Nothing. It's just another forced way to give the Turks more screen time. But we'll get into that later. This isn't even the worst part, though. Dyne doesn't forgive Barrett and robs him of his closure by putting the guilt on him, then dying. Completely robbing Barrett of the character growth moment that he needs. What a letdown. In the original, Dyne talks about how he needs to go find Marlene and kill her so she can be with her mother who passed away. But no mention of that in this one. I feel like they thought it would be too sensitive, and I guess that's fair, but also, you're robbing something that's supposed to be viewed as dangerous to the characters by dying. And, like, another thing, too, in the original, when he dies, he forgives Barrett and then takes his own life. And, if they don't want to show off a suicide, I guess that's fine, but still, putting the guilt on Barrett and then saying, all right, I guess that's it, and dying, like, that's, it robs Barrett of one of the most important moments. Because in the original, after Midgard, that's, like, the only, like, time he gets, like, something important happen to him. Like, other than that, like, that's it. After Coral Canyon, or whatever the fuck it's called, that Barrett just kind of takes a backseat, and that's it. So, like, yeah, what was going to be a great moment was ruined by shitty writing and the Turks. I mean, at least the Turks aren't all bad, right? Right? Okay, the Turks aren't all that bad. The one thing that throws me off is Elena has the exact same face model as Tifa. I mean, look at this. They're completely uncanny. But other than that, I'm glad that we get to see her more. And we even get to fight her a few times, which is good. The original, the only time you fight her is when you go back into Midgar. And even then, it's optional if you did the Wutai side quest. But, I don't know. I feel like you fight them too much. You fight them in a Mithril Mine, which is good. I feel like that fight is necessary. Because in the original, you just go there and you're introduced to Elena. And then you leave. But I don't like how they turn it into, like, an hour-and-a-half long dungeon. But, yeah, it is what it is. The Golden Saucer fight, I feel like that one was a little bit unnecessary, but it is good to fight Rufus again, because I feel like they're setting up with him a lot with this Glenn guy. I don't know if he's in the original, I forgot. I think he's, like, from some later piece of Final Fantasy VII media. But either way, it's good to fight Rufus again, and it's good that he's getting more screen time and character development compared to the original. So overall, not bad. The Turks are good. It's a shame that we don't get to see Reno until the end, but still, I'm glad he's here at least. And overall, not bad. The Turks are pretty good. Okay, back to the bad. Ketchi? Oh, sorry. I mean, Kate Sith. Okay, so Kate Sith isn't as unbearable as Yuffie, but he's still not great. I love his voice, though, but combat-wise, he's not great. I have 2 complaints with the character. One, his betrayal scene. Now, yes, he does give the keystone to Sang, but they just rob it of, like, what it's supposed to be in the original. Because what happens in the original, he gives the keystone to Sang, and then Avalanche is going to, like, abandon him, and then he's like, no, you're not, and then he shows on his little iPad screen that's in the Moogle that he's holding Marlene hostage and that they have to do what he says or else they're going to kill her, which they obviously can't do in the original because of the alternate timeline thing. But I feel like that just robs him of robs the story of showing how scary he is. Well, at least how scary something like this can be, that looks like this can be. But all this can be excused because, not all the characters are perfect, but the fucking box puzzles. The fucking throwing box puzzles. What do you get when you combine shit controls, shit level design, and shit puzzles all together? You get the chapter where you're in the Shinra mansion. Like, why does it drag on for so long? Why are there, like, 7 puzzles? Why does this chapter exist? Why did they ruin Shinra Mansion? Why isn't Vincent playable? Okay, aside from him not being playable, Vincent, he's so cool. He looks great. Matthew Mercer did a great job voicing him, and it makes me excited to play him in Part 3, which, he should have been playable here, but I guess that's too much to ask for, Square Enix, but I don't know. Overall, Vincent looks great. And Sid looks great, too. But we don't even go to fucking Rocket Town. He just kind of shows up. He picks them up in the Bronco. And he's like, yeah, we'll go. Like, where's, like, the build-up with Shara? Where's the boss fight with Palmer where he gets hit by a car? Okay. All this can be forgiven. I just really wish those 2 were playable because, oh man, they look awesome. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so far it's just been little things like little small points in the story, some things about the characters. Maybe I was a little bit hard on Yuffie, but I think the last thing I'm going to end off the video on is the finale. So we are going to be getting into spoiler territory. So if you haven't beaten the game yet or you want to stay in the dark about it, click off the video now. You're not missing much anyways, but anyways. Okay. Oh, here we go. If you thought Dyne was bad, oh man. To give credit where credit is due, though, the Temple of the Ancients build-up was really good. even though the Stone Tower temple flipping puzzles were a tad confusing and it kind of drags on for a bit, the build up to the Forgotten City was really good. No mining bullshit, just pointing to point B. A little bit flashbacky in the beginning of the chapter with Cloud and Aerith and Midgar and some stuff about Zack. But other than that, the build up to that moment was great. Okay, so we go up the stairs. We see Aerith playing. For those of us who've played the original or at least been on the internet, we all know what happens. When I saw Sephiroth coming down, I was getting hyped. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Not because I want Aerith to die, but her death is integral to the plot. That you cannot deny. As much as I love her, she needs to die. Respectfully. But the image of Cloud pushing Sephiroth out of the way will be forever burned into my mind as the image that perfectly describes everything wrong with this game. It's just too safe. No. Aerith does die, but the whole Cloud seeing into different timelines is bullshit. There should only be one timeline, and that timeline should be the one where Aerith dies. Now, after she dies, the first quarter of the Genova Life fight was good. Aerith's theme keeps playing like it does in the original, and the fight is fun. But why does it change in the Genova boss music? And why are the characters saying their cheesy quips? This is something countless people, myself included, have praised the original for. Having Aerith's theme keep playing during the original fight. Because in the original, if the Genova battle theme started playing as you're fighting Genova Life, it would have just completely taken you out of it. And that's like the key term of this game. Taking you out of it. With all the questionable story choices. But anyways, what happens here? They start playing the Genova music, and it turns into an intense boss fight. Now, the boss fight isn't bad, but I feel like if they just kept the Aerith music, it would have fixed it. So, if it's like the original, Genova Life dies, Cloud puts Aerith to rest, and that's the end of Disc 1. Right? Nope. Fuck you. Bizarro Sephiroth time. He comes out of nowhere, once again robbing a significant moment from the original, just for the fact that, we can't end off these remakes without a Sephiroth fight. Using Zack is cool. It's cool to see Zack fight Sephiroth, other than the fact that it makes no sense. And this whole thing is super confusing, too. But the phase of the fight with taking out Sephiroth's wings was such a pain in the ass. I don't know if I was under-leveled. I was around, I would say, level 50. But, dude, my party was doing, no damage to the wings. That part genuinely sucked. But the fight itself isn't bad. But the last part is Aerith coming back from the dead and her and Cloud having a 2v1 against Sephiroth. At this point, I'm completely lost. I don't know what's going on. Is she dead? Is she alive? What's happening? Why are we in the place where we fought him in the original? Where are we? What's going on? I don't know. I feel like this game does a terrible job at explaining these things. So, Cloud and Aerith have their 2v1 against Sephiroth. They win. He's defeated. Then Aerith disappears. And, okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my notes. Then Sephiroth's defeated. We cut back to the Forgotten City. Aerith is dead. They pay their respects. And I feel like that part is good. So then, the final scene of the game is the main party. They're sitting by the Highwind, which we don't even know how Sid got it yet. Because, we didn't go to Rocket Town. And that we don't get the Highwind until after Cloud's little memory thing. But, so they're all sad, but they're hopeful. They're getting ready. I feel like it's a good note to end off the game on, because obviously it's the highlight of the story of the original, the big ending cliffhanger that Aerith is dead. So I feel like it's kind of like a new, not a New Hope, an Empire Strikes Back, where it's a grim yet hopeful situation. And then Cloud is able to see Aerith walking, and then Red 13 sees her too. So I guess from my understanding, when Cloud pushed Sephiroth out of the way, he was looking into a timeline where he saves Aerith, but obviously that's not what happened here. But he's still able to see her, or maybe he's just in denial, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could have been great. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. But it's still confusing, and I just wish that the devs would have just killed off Aerith in her intended way. Again, nothing against the character, it's just talk about being at the wrong place at the wrong time, dude. Aerith, let me introduce my friend Howard Hamlin. Okay. To include my probably 10-15 minute rant sesh, Is the game bad? No, it's not bad. Far from it. It's still a good game. I think it's a perfectly enjoyable experience, and I do feel like it appeals to a certain audience. Now, in terms of reimagining the story and legacy of the original, it fails. Hard. I'm not going to mention some small things like the whole Gee subplot at the end of Cosmo Canyon, the Gingaga filler, cutting out Rocket Town. I would have loved to see Palmer get hit by a car, but I would still recommend it if you're a fan of the first remake. I will say, though, if you're going to play this one, you should play the first remake. You don't really have to play Intergrade, but do play the first one. I genuinely believe that these games would be more enjoyable if you don't play the original. I feel like going in without knowing what happens in the original, letting the story's pacing work on its own is good. But I don't know. I feel like playing the original, going into it, you're able to feel and experience the fillery. And now, not all the filler part is bad, but like there's some parts where it's apparent. But until then, all we have to do is wait. We'll have to wait for part 3, see how they fuck up Cloud's amnesia. But until then, we have 2 options. Play these 2 games that claim to be a remake of one of the best JRPGs ever made, or play one of the best JRPGs ever made. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like Rebirth? You're welcome to disagree with me in the comments and point out all the flaws of my points. You can critique me, because I genuinely want to know what you guys think. This is just my opinion. If you like the game, again, nothing against you. These are just my thoughts. But yeah, I'm curious to see what you all think. So either way, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. So peace.